Yeah, even for me, because I'm Brazilian and I have to me, in my head, I have a...
Brazilian?
I am.
So is my hair.
I was wondering why it looks so good.
Of course
Family.
it is. Yeah, I can see it.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Right.
Okay.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Gabriel.
This is Gabriel. And
Okay.
you introduce yourself however you'd like.
I'm June Jambalaya.
Yes.
The queen is here. I'm so glad to have you. You're the first drag queen that we've had in
Yes.
drag. So we've had drag queens, but I usually just leave
Amateurs.
it up to... I leave it up to whatever people
Yeah.
are comfortable. We wear gym clothes because we're hood rats, but...
That's what we wear every day. So
I always struggle with like, should I get in drag and should I not get in drag? But when I tell you, no one recognizes me out of drag.
Sure, I get
And
that.
so
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is the job.
full-
Even when we're wearing gym clothes, I feel like I'm in a form of drag because
Yeah.
it's like my hyper mask. Like I just left the gym look, but that's not really me. I just kind of like pull into
It's a
that.
uniform.
It's
Yeah.
a uniform,
Yeah.
and it's a fantasy, right? I mean, whatever clothes we put on at the end of the day it's to help us feel confident and to like fill that sort of image that we see ourselves in
For sure.
in our head.
we're born naked.
We're born
The rest
naked
is
and
The rest is tape.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you've already talked about Jacksonville, which is so exciting for me because you're probably one of the I don't even think I've met someone from Jacksonville since we've been out here.
For sure. Yeah, this is the first person that we're meeting from Jacksonville.
And not
So
only
this is-
that, when you walked on the main stage of Drag Race, I was like, oh my God, a queen from Jacksonville, Florida.
Representing Florida, northern
Which
Florida.
is incredible because for me, growing up, I didn't have any connection to drag. I didn't know where drag could be found. But let's start with the fact that we're both from
From
Jacksonville.
Duval.
Yes. I
Is
cannot
that-
believe you guys never met.
I
You
know,
that's
in
the question.
Jacksonville.
What side
I
of
know
town are
Jack-
you from?
Exactly. So now we're getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
as
here
you
we-
know, Jacksonville is extremely spread out.
The largest city
In America.
land-wise.
Yes.
Yes. Everything is so spread out. Sometimes you don't even like cross into other areas or neighborhoods.
I know. I'm going home in August for my mom's 65th.
Whoa.
And every time I go home, there's my Zaxby runs,
Yeah.
there's my tropical smoothie runs. Like there's a
Absolutely.
list.
I love tropical smoothie.
Oh.
Do you have a go-to?
I get the kiwi quencher with white chocolate.
Oh,
Delicious. I never had that.
The
I've been
wraps are
drinking
really
the
good, too.
same thing since I was going to Douglas Henderson. I think.
Oh my gosh, I knew you went to DA.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, so DA is the art school.
Mm-hmm.
And I always
Nice.
wanted to go there because all of the people who were semi-queer back in, 2000, they at least had some sort of connection to that school, and I did not.
discovered. I've always been gay.
Same.
But
born.
Yes.
going to Forrest and Jeff Davis, I had to really hone it in and
Wow.
or really just
Yeah.
defend myself. And
Yeah.
that was the first time when I got to Douglas Henderson my 10th grade year. The creative writers are gay. The dancers are walking in their biker shorts. It was literally it was High School Musical. I was like, oh, I was just in the wrong place.
Yes.
I was like, these are my people.
Amazing.
Amazing. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister.
One sister. Is she an inspiration to your drag, or just it's a
She would like to believe.
right?
So.
Sure. And I'm sure in some subtle ways, maybe.
Okay, aesthetically, back in the day, she's a mom now. Things
Sure,
have changed.
sure.
But originally, growing up, my sister would wear these platform heels, the highest heel. I was like, that's just so cunt. Can I say cunt?
Yeah,
I was like, that's
absolutely.
so cunt. And I was just always obsessed with her getting her hair done. She would always always have the best extensions. But then my mom was like, the nails, the makeup,
T.
the clothes.
Wow.
My sister was just the hair and the shoes. She
Sure.
would laxed on the clothes.
And you were
but
the combination of both.
Yeah, but my mom was always, the lady that just walks in the room. She doesn't say much, but she says a
look.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always put
Very,
together.
yeah. She's from Tennessee. So that older Southern,
Love it. So it's interesting. We talk about this a lot because he has sisters, and I grew up in a house full of women as well. All my cousins are female, and my mom has a sister, and so we would always kind of lust after their clothes or their toys, and especially shoes. For me, my cousin, we would go to Payless back in the day, where you could get a cheap pair of heels for probably $15.
My Easter Sundays.
Yes, absolutely. And I would just be sitting in the corner man, if I could just have some reach into some of those shoes and walk around and feel so confident.
Oh, no, I did.
Good.
I did a YouTube episode with my mom 2 years ago for Mother's Day, and she talked about how I would steal my sister's hair. Like after she would take it off, I would be on the side of the bed playing with it. And luckily, my sister is a size 10.5 women's shoe, and so for a long time, I got to wear it because now I'm a 12. But for a while, I used to play in her shoes when she was gone.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
And she knew about that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I used to dress my mom's clothes, my sister's clothes, and they always knew, but they never told me. So I thought I was doing hidden.
In secret.
Oh, no. My sister knew. And she would she said, just put it back before they get home. Yeah.
Did you grow up in much of a religious household?
So my stepdad's a minister.
I can hear it a little bit. I hear a little bit of ministry in your voice.
Yeah, my grandmother is an evangelist.
Oh, wow.
My grandfather was a minister.
I see.
So Wednesday, Friday, Saturday rehearsals, Sunday school, Sunday church, after church,
But a lot of that is theater-based, right? And it doesn't kind of get highlighted, and maybe that's a good thing because there's a lot of queer kids out there who are forced into church.
For sure.
I'm not the biggest advocate for church, but there are great values you can learn in that, space. And again, it's a great place for people who may be unsafe to express themselves, but you can go to church and you can act, you can dance, you can sing.
My first performances were in church.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's so funny because if I'm being completely transparent, a lot of June is watching my mother and the first ladies and how they conduct themselves.
For sure.
They, even if things were going on at home or she just got an argument with my stepdad,
You couldn't tell.
Poised.
Yeah, they sat there and they gave it to the masses.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh,
This is
okay.
what needs
But they
to be
controlled
done.
it with their bodies. Like
Right.
the men knew just like by the aura the women gave. And I was just like,
being able to
I was just
control
so
a man.
I was so fascinated.
Yeah.
Because my stepdad would be speaking. If my mom didn't clap, she would just be. And you knew.
You
And
knew. You knew.
Yeah.
So coming out, was that a struggle with sort of a religious background, or did you wait? How did that?
Yes and no. I tried to date the girl, do the thing.
Yeah.
And I remember this because it's Florida. It was a hurricane the day I told my mom.
Sure, of course.
And I have really bad asthma, and like the power went out. It was so dramatic, just how I wanted.
Right.
And we were lighting candles.
Telenovela.
And she was upstairs, and she's like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, I need to tell you something." And like, there's no power. It's raining, and I was like, I'm gay. And then like I was on the floor, like completely falling apart. And then my mom picked me up, and she said, "You're my child." And she said, "And God is love. So I don't care who you love,
That's
just as long
amazing.
as they love you correctly."
Wow.
And that was all I needed. My dad, like my birth dad and my stepdad, was like, I don't think I've ever had that conversation with my stepdad.
Sure.
My dad always knew because he would always call me names, but my mom was the stamp of approval I needed to be okay.
Does your dad live in Jacksonville?
My father passed
I'm so sorry.
I graduated college 2018, so he passed 2019.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that. It's his.
My dad passed when I was 20 years old. I was pretty young too. And like you, I never told him, but it was pretty obvious.
No, like my dad knew. And even at my college graduation, that was the last time I saw him when he came here.
Wow.
And I was living with my boyfriend at the time. And I didn't know I don't smoke, but you can't travel with marijuana, obviously.
Yeah.
And so my boyfriend smoked, and he was smoking with my dad. And like at my graduation party, I was like, "Terrence, are you smoking
That's
with my
pretty cool though.
Are you smoking with my dad?" He said, "Yeah." He asked me if I twist up. I was like, "What's that?" And then my dad was like, "I like your friend. He's cool. You're cool little
I guess
friend."
that's approval.
Yeah. And so I felt like that was his way. That's
sure.
the Southern, Tennessee man, military man saying, "Okay."
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we don't need that conversation one-on-one to our parents or to our other relatives of ours because, that's our business. We don't have to tell everyone that we're gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think for me also the most important person was my mom.
Same.
And as soon as I told her, I didn't care anymore.
Same.
But other people, I just didn't
It's
have to come
different.
out.
The moms hit different.
Yeah,
like the
moms
mom's
hit
approval
different.
hits different. Like my stepdad, I still to this day We have not had a conversation. My mom has watched me on Drag Race.
course,
He has
of
not.
course.
He has not acknowledged me being a drag queen.
Wow.
He knows. I believe like he's watched it with
Sure,
her,
yeah, sure.
and like she's traveled with me to shows and like been the. He has never. He just says he's proud,
Right.
but I don't
Okay,
even
yeah.
think he knows what he's proud of.
Right.
But he just says he's proud.
You, I assume, graduated from DA high school. What was it like, though? Like, just going to a school where everyone was so creative and creative focused.
I always tell my mom this and my therapist, but DA kind of saved my life.
Yeah.
I was so unsure of what my life was going to be in Jacksonville. My
Yeah.
dad was like, "Oh, you're going to open a hair salon." I was like, "Oh God,
No,
you're going to
whatever.
open a hair salon. You're going to go to school at Paul Mitchell." Like he had it, that was
Yeah.
his safe route of like
Sure.
keeping me safe. He said, "Women will love to come to you. You love hair and all of that."
Yep.
I was like, "No, I want to do more."
Right.
And DA kind of showed me that was possible.
I never thought I would be able to live out here because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And how would I make this happen? And I'm from Florida and I need the ocean, like to be 80 degrees, not frozen. And like all of these things.
I was like, I have to be in school to get here. There's
Yeah,
no
for
there's
sure.
no other way this is going to make sense.
sure.
Like I need, financial aid and my
reason.
parents'
Yeah,
aid
for
to get
sure.
here. There was no other way this was going to work.
Exactly. Were your parents pretty like focused on you being successful, or was
Yeah.
that a different? Yeah.
So my father was in the military. My mom was a paralegal,
Sure.
and so it was for her. Education was everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
It was like that's what's going to save you and give you the world that you
Very
can't
true.
give yourself.
Yeah.
And I think when she started to see that I was more art driven,
Sure.
because my first time I tried to major in poli-sci like she did, and I was like, oh girl, this ain't it.
Right.
I was like, it's like this isn't gonna work.
For sure.
She was even worried about because I quit my job to do Drag Race.
Wow.
And she was even worried about that because like her idea, because she, pretty liberal lady.
Sure. I mean, she sounds great.
Yeah, she goes to Hamburg and Mary. She had a birthday
Okay,
party there.
amazing.
Yeah,
Very
but she
cool.
was just like her idea of a drag queen.
Yeah.
Just smoke, cracked
right.
out in the
Yeah.
back of the club.
Hey.
That's what she thought it was going
sure.
to be. She had never watched Drag Race. She had never seen. I was like, no. That is that. But
Yeah. There's space
There's
for
the
more
girls are
than
making
that,
a
yeah.
living.
Right.
Now.
Clearly. I mean, look at the new season of All Stars.
Everyone is, done from head to toe.
Head to toe.
And everyone has their package. Everyone, I
Right.
said it's not, that anymore.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are making a living
Yeah.
doing what they love.
sure.
And I think now it's so funny. We had a conversation when I did UK DragCon in UK. She
Sure.
went with me to London because she had never been.
Amazing. Oh my
gosh,
And she
so
was just
cool.
like, she was just so floored to see like little kids
Yeah.
come up to me
Yes.
and like people want to buy like my chocolate bars
Right.
and all
Oh,
those things.
that's
And she's
so
just like,
cool.
it's so not what
I
I was
thought,
raised
exactly.
anymore. Like, you go to school, you get the degree, you go be a lawyer,
Yeah,
a
right.
doctor,
Yeah,
and
that's
all
all
those things. She
gone.
said, no, that's like, you can literally make a living doing just
Yeah.
yourself.
And
Like,
guess what? You're your boss.
Yeah.
Which is way better than working at a law firm for 80 hours a week and, struggling to make it up. And then one day your boss decides they don't like you anymore.
Yeah, or, they're downsizing
Right.
and all
Right.
those things. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not
So-
needed anymore.
I know I said the biggest thing is, Janice, I always call her by her name. I said the biggest thing for Janice is like, I am my own boss, so like I'm always having to seek opportunities.
Yes.
Seek, the collaboration. Seek,
Right.
I said, how you can just punch in and out, and
Yes.
everyone's gonna file bankruptcy, so you're always gonna have a job.
Right.
Like I said, people are always filing bankruptcy. I
Right.
said, but I have to go out and seek the
Yes,
work.
exactly.
I said that's the difference.
For sure.
How did you start drag?
Surprisingly, I was choreographing for drag queens.
What?
That's how I started.
Incredible.
Callista Stage, who's a local drag queen,
Yeah.
and Portia Leger, they were having me choreograph their numbers.
Wow.
And so Portia had just won. It's called Dragged Out. It's a 10-week competition in West Hollywood, and the winner gets $5,000.
Wow.
I had just graduated college, and I was just like, oh, let me do the amateur night, just
Yeah,
sure.
make some money.
Yeah,
why not?
I made $600 my first night because I won. I was just like,
Incredible.
it's not bad.
bad.
I was like, I'm fresh out of school. I'm
Right.
auditioning, trying
Yeah.
to find my way. And then I said, okay, well, let me do the 10-week competition. And then I won that. And then I won the
gosh.
$5,000. And I was just like,
That's a sign.
it was very different because the dance world, I was told, I gained too much weight. I wasn't tall enough. I didn't, look like the backup dancer. I wasn't masculine enough.
Yeah.
So in drag, I got to create my character, and I got to say what this person is or isn't, not someone telling me what I have to be to fit the mold.
Right.
And so that kind of just was like, oh.
I feel like a lot of people could learn from that, and I think that they are. I think this is why Drag Race is such a phenomenon, is people see how many stories others are telling where we can all relate to each other and how we just want to be ourselves. And when you lean into that, everyone falls in love with you. You know, just be yourself and you're going to make friends. You're going to find people who are going to support you and uplift you. And when we're kind of living behind the mask, it doesn't roll out that way. And some people look at drag as a mask. I look at it as the opposite. I think it actually reveals
who we are.
Who we are. And so I highly suggest anyone who's out there who has not watched Drag Race or
watch it.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing about the show, and like people, I don't ever think I ever even say this. My favorite thing about Drag Race is not like people see us and see the drag queens and like, oh my gosh. My favorite thing that RuPaul has created is how many queer people that are employed.
Yes.
I am not the person who makes my wigs.
Right.
I am not the person who makes my costumes.
Right.
I am not the person who is stoning my shoe.
Yeah.
The PAs who are back there,
Yeah.
the producers, the story. Like, there are so many queer people that have a safe place to create. Like, I didn't even... the thought process of working with designers and like, you know, all of these queer people they look forward to the new cast because they are employed to show their craft as well. And that's my favorite thing. It really is a community of queer artists.
Yeah, because behind those 14 queens, there's like a team of
people who has made the wigs, who have sit there and stoned everything meticulously, who has done the costumes. Like, they are like, we are just the vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then think of all of the clubs and the venues and the events that they touch throughout their career that is really just branches spreading off from Drag Race. Is there things that you hope to see like in the near future that you're working on right now?
Right now, I'm being transparent.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it day by day.
Perfect.
Life has kind of, you know, taken some turns with the loss of my drag mom, Jiggly.
Yes. Right.
And that has kind of rocked my world a little bit. So there are things, obviously, that I used to talk to her about that, you know, if, you know, an All-Star happened, or if, you know, I've always wanted to do a beauty campaign. Like, there are some huge dreams and aspirations I still have and want to do.
Right.
But right now I'm like, let me make sure I'm okay. Because I do feel like those things are on the horizon and like I'm never going to stop working for them. But like, I want to make sure that, you know, June is okay and Ty is okay to, you know, to handle it. Because I'm still wrapping my brain around it of what it's going to be like to not have my drag compass.
Yeah. Do you mind telling us a little bit about how you came to find each other?
Yeah. So when we do our Reveal Yourselves, and my reveal came out and people were commenting, calling me the Black Jiggly.
Oh my God.
And so
That's like, how do you respond to that?
And so I wasn't responding to the comments. I was like, oh, she gets Black Jiggly.
Oh my gosh.
And so she DM'd me and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry you're not having your moment. They're comparing you to me. I was like, I'm kind of not offended. You're not ugly.
Right. Like, I mean, she's fierce.
Like, I was like, it's giving ethnic ambiguous. So she then came to Showgirls and she saw me performing, and I was upstairs like going through it because I was by myself. And she's like, June, do you have a family? And I was like, no, I'm like doing this by myself. Like I was choreographing for Queens, and I just auditioned for Drag Race as a joke. Like,
what?
Yeah, so I started drag 2019, like 18, 19.
Sure.
The pandemic happened 2020. I had my last performance at Hamburger Mary's, I think March 12th, the 13th, everything shut down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I was home not doing anything. And then my friend was like, oh my God, what if you put a Drag Race tape together? Mind you, I'd only been doing drag like 9 or 10 months. I was like, let's do it. Let's just see. I like reality television. I know what people like to watch.
Sure.
And got a callback. And the callback went to another callback. And then the callback went to your cast. And I was just like,
amazing.
what the hell?
It all fell into place.
I was like, I'm so used to hearing people say, I've auditioned 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And I was just like,
that means you've got something.
It's so weird because I don't regret auditioning. I just wish I had a little bit more time to cook before going.
Would you go back to All Stars?
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I'll go to All Stars.
Yeah. I was like, I would. I said, the June I am now by far is nowhere near that baby queen that had been doing drag 10 months.
Yeah.
Like, I unfortunately had to, earn my strides in front of the world.
But you look at so many queens who have done that. I mean, look at Irene this season.
Yeah.
I mean, went home first, killing it.
And she's phenomenal. And I do love the fact that don't sleep on a pork chop.
Right.
Like, and the fact that,
not
the us BFA girls, yeah.
Right. Drag Race is unique as well because usually in competition, especially reality, a lot of times it's taken into account like what you've done throughout the journey. And maybe it is, but oftentimes it's just the episode. Like if you just don't stand out that episode and you're just not good at maybe that day, you can just have a bad day and then you just don't get to show it. And people are so quick to plaster you with their assumptions based on what little they know.
Yeah.
And that can be in any realm of whether you're...
And that's just one challenge, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other challenges. And
I think people forget, like, again, I didn't have a drag family. I didn't have drag sisters. I didn't have drag resources. I legit went there with my dance community behind me.
Incredible.
And my friends. So we didn't know, like, the ins and outs of, like, a really polished drag queen.
Sure.
Like, I knew fashion, I knew style, but, like, I didn't know, like, the drag of it.
For sure.
So that part I really, didn't have.
Yeah.
The fans really hone in on the things that they, see.
Yeah.
People watch TV and they make assumptions of.
Oh yeah, it's just like
time.
me watching the Met Gala with my unsolicited opinion from home.
The thing is, it's great. I mean, opinions should be plentiful, but you don't have to type them and you don't have to share them. Like, I think everyone should get a friend, get on the phone, read us for filth. But like,
talk
we don't
about
need
it
to
in
know.
your living room.
Right.
Don't
fine,
DM. Don't DM me.
Right, I mean,
the synopsis of what you thought about me and my talent number.
And it's usually fake people. It's usually like people who don't exist.
Yeah.
Or they're no profile picture or have nothing to show for themselves.
Oh my God, it was this old man like this. It was this comment recently from the GLAAD Awards, my dress. He was like, beautiful, but you look even better if you were like 10 or 15 pounds lighter.
Oh my God.
And like, I pinned it. So all my sisters, like, Joey and Hershey, just like, you old decrepit bastard. Like, how dare you? Like, I'm like, yeah.
So since you've, had to experience something that we all at some point in our life will with loss, have you been able to find like new family members in the drag community or have people reached out to you?
I actually just got back this morning from the service.
Right. We watched some of it.
Yeah. And so it's crazy. Because I was there. I wasn't there when my father passed. I was actually in the room when she took her last breath with her family.
With Jiggly?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that was also like comforting and haunting at the same time. And I had never felt so connected to her family. Like they really treated me like, because, I was her kid. And they treated me as such. And then, Manila messaging me, Bianca, like these were her closest friends and like her colleagues of 20 years. Like she'd been doing this a very long time. Yeah. And the way that they, check in and like nurture me. And it's just like, I always just wanted that, you always seek the community and that chosen family is so, I've seen it, I've heard about it, I've watched it, but I didn't really know what that meant until this experience. And I'm very sad that she's gone, but I cannot describe the comfort my soul feels with this chosen family that's around me right now. I can't form into words what it has been like, with them all just, messaging me and being there and coming up to me and telling me I'm not alone. And these aren't just like queens. These are like queens that I look up to and respect and like and have admired. And it is just, and
now they're your family.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I think we have been living again in Jacksonville for the last 5-6 years, and we focused a lot of our time on traveling and work and the last probably year we've been saying I have been sort of slowly estranging myself from my family, which is really tough, and there's many facets and layers to it. But what I realized is that I never really have developed my own chosen family either. I'm not like the most extroverted person, believe it or not, or the most outgoing. I love this because I'm in a room and I,
but you get to choose,
It's
and you're
different,
focused. Even as a drag queen, I have to learn. I'm not a type of drag queen.
Right, yeah.
That's just not me.
Right.
And I understand that is the staple and standard of drag, but that's just not my personality. I know how to do that on stage, but I'm a typically, reserved person, but not really with like my circle and people that I'm comfortable with. I'm shady, I'm funny, I'm gay. And so with like my circle, and I'm having to, learn to, be a little bit more extroverted.
And that's what we're really focusing on too, since we're living here in LA. That was kind of one of the main, there's multiple reasons why we wanted to be here, but developing more close friendships and creating that sort of queer family that I've always wanted. And to be like yourself, now you're attached to me. You've been on the show.
Yes. I was like, no, we're both from Florida. We're going to talk about Publix chicken.
We are.
Question, sidebar.
Okay.
Have you heard,
No, you're good.
Mardi Gras rings at Publix?
No. Mardi Gras rings?
So
Mardi Gras chicken, they have the Mardi Gras like flavor of the...
My sister was telling me the Mardi Gras chicken wings. I've never had these at Publix. I've only gotten the box.
I'm thinking the Mojo.
I've only just gotten the regular chicken wings and, the Hawaiian rolls and my lemonade, the standard. the standard Friday night.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
there are the flavor Mardi Gras wings, which is like this sweet and tangy.
I gotta try this.
No, it's on my to-do list when I go home.
We're gonna meet up in Jacksonville too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
It's on my to-do list because I'm going home in August. But I was just like, I had never heard of Mardi Gras wings.
I've seen the Mojo. So Publix has a Mojo. We've gotten that, the rotisserie chicken.
Do you like Firehouse subs?
Yes. So
okay.
We are big fans.
I used to live in North Hollywood. They opened a Firehouse
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Which was, I used to live right behind the Hespy. And I used to walk to that
good.
It
tastes
and
like
get my
Jacksonville.
get my brisket.
Yes.
My barbecue
So
brisket.
good.
Extra sauce.
It's you can take us out of the South, but you just can't take the South.
And
out
I
of
love
us.
it.
Me too.
Like as much as I love LA, I love La La Land, I love the sushi, I love the fantasy of it all.
Yep.
Like, I'm very Jessica Simpson. The real me is a Southern girl with the Levi's on and an open heart. Like that's yeah, it's very that. But like I love this. Like I love it all.
Yes.
But like I do love, I always say, Southern charm with like, West Coast taste.
How do you balance like the male side of who you are with the female side of who you are? Because we talk about this a lot because I have struggled with trying to like label what characteristics of myself are like feminine and masculine, because I don't think those words need to be so separated. Like, we're humans. We like to label everything. We want a hierarchy, all of it.
I struggle sometimes. The attention that June Jambalaya gets is not always the attention Ty Porter gets.
Yeah.
And the way I'm told, oh, June, you're so pretty, you're so fishy, you're just, I'm like, oh, I wish I got that response when I'm like, I'm not the, ingenue man.
Yeah.
And so I'm always like, oh, I need to be in drag.
Sure.
And so for a moment I was having that identity crisis. It's like, oh, wait, am I trans? And like I, was having that, and I was like, no, I never identified as a woman. I don't wake up and feel like I need to be. I just enjoyed the attention she's getting.
Right.
And I was like, but that's not trans. That's not that. And I was like, and I had to really, dig within myself and understand that. And I was like, I can be okay just being me.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that I don't really have to separate the two. June is June.
Yes.
And she is the doll, and she's put together, and Ty's somewhat of a doll, but he's a little messy.
Yeah.
But they're both, intertwined within each other.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that because I always feel like my dating life would be better if I was more of, the switch of the two. And, I was more masculine, and, my voice was deeper, and I had the abs. But I just feel like, the right person will love all of those layers.
You are perfect the way you are. And we would love maybe one day you'll bring Ty and come talk to us.
Yep.
Or we would love to have June back again, because this has been
Ty
incredible.
would love to come. This was a lot of work.
Yeah. We would love to have you back. But in the meantime, before you do come back, please let's make plans. We are going to go to Firehouse.
Yeah.
We're going to do something fun. We're going to bring the Jacksonville to LA.
Mm-hmm.
We're so thankful that you were able to come. I know it flies by. These are like super quick.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
But we're so glad that we had you come join us. Any questions for us? We always ask. There's not really, we're not that important.
How long have you guys been together?
6 years.
6 years.
Who made the first move?
Me, for sure. Sliding in those DMs hard. But he made me wait, and it was worth the wait. So sometimes if a guy's out there making you wait.
You have to make a wait for at least,
It's worth
a
the
year.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, at least a year.
Yeah.
Oh, so classy. Like,
He
I said,
did.
are you from the South? It's like a year.
I'm from Brazil, so
Yeah.
that's how we do it there.
Yep. That's how they do it. Well, thank you for
Thank you for
everything.
coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time. That's it.
Wave to wave.
Yeah, you can do whatever
I was
you
like,
want.
what do I do? I was like, bye.